Hey all, this is JD Sports Tweets, and Pistons Forum member for a long ass time. And we're about to do the contest again. It is the Tin Mad Dog's 9th annual Pistons over-under contest. Tin Mad Dog was an old handle I had on the message board, if you're wondering about that. But that's not really that important, so we're moving on. Going to be going through the categories, and I'll be showing the slides with the rules and having a few special guest interviews along the way to get some input from a lot of people from Pistons Twitter and Pistons Forum. And I hope you enjoy it. I hope you do the contest. And this year, I will be giving away 2 tickets to a Pistons basketball game, regular season game, probably not against a tough opponent, so maybe you'll see a win, and you'll be up in very, very high seats, but they are free tickets, so that's not bad. You just have to enter the contest and win the contest. So good luck to everybody, and without further ado, here are the rules. On to the rules. I'm just going to briefly go over this. They'll be on the page. There was going to be a link here to click, but I decided to present this thing in a different fashion, so don't even bother clicking that. I'll be posting the link to the thread where you can enter your ballot, make your picks, but quickly, you get 10 points for every category you get right. If there's any pushes, I think I got it set up pretty well that there shouldn't be, but you'll get 5 points if there is a push. There's going to be 36 total questions, and there is always a gimme category. Ooh, pop up. Anyway, so there's a gimme category. I think it's easy as hell, but there's always the chance that you get it wrong. And if you do, it's tough love time. You're getting 25 negative points. So with that said, let's go on to question 1. Total wins. It was a little hard to find something of the modern team celebrating, so I went classic. Suck it, Ainge. 24.5 wins. They going over or under? You must answer that. That's the whole point of this. That's why it's called an over-under game. Number 2, games played by Blake. He's a superstar for us, but he's a much injured superstar. 54.5. Remember, it's a 72-game season. So that's the line right there. And next up, we're going to have a little contributor.
We are here with another guest. We've got David Binkowski coming to us from where?
From Mayagüez, Puerto Rico.
Excellent. So, according to HGTV, we're going international here, although it's not exactly quite accurate. But anyway, we're rolling with it. We're going overseas anyway. And so what I've been doing with a few of the other people that have come on is have you guess a number between 1, now we're up to 28 categories. So between 1 and 28, if you guess a number that I've already asked people a question, I'm going to have you guess again. But I'm curious to see how it is, what you guess. What number?
It's just a random number, right? This has nothing
Random
to do
number. 1 to 28.
How about number 3?
3. Okay. Nobody's guessed number 3. Okay, so here's question 3. Points per game by Jeremy Grant. Now, so far in the preseason, been a little sketchy, but what are your thoughts? A little, yeah, I'm being kind. You can see he's working there in that picture. He's trying hard. He wants to put the ball in the bucket. So how many points do you think that Jeremy Grant is going to average this season?
I mean, it's tough to take what he did in Denver and say it's going to do the same because we don't know this combination of young guys and veterans and guys like him who are trying to take that next step. You don't know how the minutes are going to shake out at this point because it's so early on. But if I had to guess, I think he can do some things as long as he plays within his game, that there's no reason he couldn't be double digits, 10 points, 11 points. I don't see it going much higher than that.
Okay.
He may have a game that's 6 or 4, and then we may get a 20-point game because he's feeling it. But I don't see him being that kind of player where he's going to leave as a role player and then step into a role somewhere else where they're trying to develop young players to have some kind of a focus or a feature for him. I don't know they're going to call his number, for example. If he's lucky, given Casey's history, he may be more of like a Siakam type when Dwayne was back in Toronto, where it's like get your points where you can, get yourself open, get to the rim, etc. But I can't see him being more than 10 or 11 points a game.
Okay. I was a little more optimistic.
Oh.
So I set the line at 15 points, which would be a career scoring year for him, I believe. But
Right.
My thinking was that the contract and the focus on him might be greater, that he's gonna, and he did have a pretty solid playoffs in the bubble. I think that he still has upside.
My hope is that
It may be a tough line to match, but especially in the start with D Rose coming off the bench, I figured somebody's got to fill some of that scoring load. And
if they drop him if they put him on the second string, then it's very possible he has more touches and has more of a focal point in the offense. But that's the thing. That's the tricky thing is, where is he going to land? Are they going to actually start him? I mean, Savi should be starting. So you start to look at spots and it's odd man out. And then it's, we've got D Rose and a bunch of young guys. And maybe that's where Jeremy would have his opportunity on the second team to be a secondary scorer, et cetera. So it's really going to depend on the usage. But I'm not, based on what we've seen so far, it's not been pretty. But it's early. It's early. I figure.
Shots up.
Yeah.
Shots up.
Yeah, it's just they're not falling and it's early. It's a new arena. There's a lot of things that I could see. I could see him trending up as the season goes on and kind of finds his role and his niche, and his usage gets more regulated to come closer to your number. But right now, I'm just not super optimistic.
You're betting big time on the under. All right,
yeah, I'm going under.
We'll go to the next question.
All right, we did have question 4, a little insight, but at the request of a certain individual, we're not showing that footage at this time. Maybe down the road. So assist to turnover ratio for Killian, our rookie point guard, 1.75 to 1. So 1.75 assists to every 1 turnover. What do you think?
And next is, you've got the threes made by Steve. I can just show you my thinking. My thinking on the line was hide that. So that is just under 3 a game if he plays every game.
Right. 3 made per game. His usage is going to be up. And Casey already told him, we want you shooting more. That's 200 or 199, but 200. They're playing 72 games this year?
Yeah.
So you said you're at about 3, right? Yeah, 2.73.
Yeah.
I'm actually I'm gonna do this out of necessity that they're gonna need his shooting. I actually go 206.
So you go with the over.
I think it'll be higher. I'd go over on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's gonna there'll be a point in the season that hopefully his confidence continues to build. He continues to take the shots where they're just like, every time you touch it, let it fly.
Uh-huh.
So if that happens, he'll be getting more than, making more than 3 a game, hopefully.
Yeah.
But I think it's a safe estimate, but I think he may have a couple games where I don't think he'll dip below 3 too many times, but I think he definitely could go above it. We've seen him, have those shooting nights where he just hits everything. So, the first shot he took, I think, went off the backboard and off the top of the backboard. So he's got the stroke. It's just a matter of getting the touches. That's again.
That's right. That was the one that went in that George Blaha didn't really understand what happened there. But yeah, I remember that. little worried about George this season, but that's a side note. Well, all right. Thank you very much for coming on and getting some input, and good luck when you get in the contest. And I will see you on the Twitter.
Awesome. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
And our next category, I'm back. It starts by D Rose. He's coming off the bench right now and looking comfortable in that role, but anything can happen, especially with Casey coaching the team, as he proved last year. He likes to shuffle that lineup. So our line is at 9.5. And next up, we're going back out to another guest.
All right. Right now, we have a very special guest, Sham, the real Sham of the NBA. And he is going to weigh in on a couple of categories, and we're just going to pick them randomly. This may take a second with my screen sharing and Zoom abilities. But what I'd like you to do is pick a number between 1 and 25.
Any number?
Any number.
Let's go with my boy Killian Hayes, number 7.
All right. Question 7. So the category is points per $1 million of this season's contract for somebody that's probably not quite a fan favorite at this moment. Plums. I call them plums. So what do you think? So he's getting $8 million this year. Points per $1 million.
He is probably, like, am I supposed to give you a number or say over and under?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I just wanted to get your initial thoughts, and then I'll show you where I put the line, and you can, we'll find out, what you already said then.
Okay. I think it's going to be probably like 10 points per game. So like 1 million 1 point per million, something like that, a little over that.
That's pretty good, because I put it at 1.25. That's the line that I decided, which is actually right at 10 points a game.
Oh,
so
sweet.
We're on,
okay, nice.
You're kind of on a push. So it's, so I'm going to have people either 1.3 or 1.2, because he probably won't average 10.0 exactly, although it's possible. Okay. So that's one down, and I know you got to go somewhere, so I'm just going to keep you on for one more question.
Sure.
And we'll just go with the next question right there. Games canceled due to COVID, just for the Pistons only. So they got a 72-game season this year, and the likelihood is something's probably going to happen. So what's your initial thought on that?
I feel like if it's more than 5, the season, like if the game is straight up canceled, that means there's some massive outbreak that's taking place. And I feel like if it's more than 5, the NBA should like just consider not having a season. If 5 games of a 72-game season are canceled, I feel like it wouldn't make much sense to continue putting players at risk like that.
Okay.
So I would say like 3, maybe.
3? Okay. And the line I set is 2.5. So you would be picking the over on this one.
Okay.
But it's close, and hopefully the vaccine is going to be getting to a widespread, and it's useful, effective, and hopefully we'll have a good season. But so you'd be going over there. So as I said, I know you're pressed for time, so I'm just going to wrap it up here. And thank you for your input, and hopefully you will enter the contest this year. And
of course,
we'll be in touch.
That sounds fun.
Thanks a lot. All right. And
of course, man. Thanks, appreciate it.
You got it.
And our next category is total minutes played for Sekou. Year 2 of Sekou. Fairly big number I put up, but it's not starters minutes, so could go either way. Is he going to be involved in the rotation heavily, or are they still going to bring him along slowly? Next.
So we've got another Pistons Twitter guest, also somebody that is a frequent poster on the Pistons forum, which is good because that's where the contest is located. and got to get some of the OGs of the Pistons forum on here. So Keith, and known as Charlotte Lean 28 on Twitter, and K-Stat on the Pistons forum. And without further ado, we are going to get to a couple of questions and see what your thoughts are. And it'll take a second to screen share, so bear with me. Yeah. So I think a lot of people on Twitter have noticed that Mr. Blaha has not been quite as sharp as usual. So that's one of the things I was thinking about factoring this in. And also last year, Johnny Kane did do play-by-play on 2 or 3 games. So I was wondering what people's thoughts are.
All right. Michigan State football season is winding down, so we don't have to worry about that necessarily. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure how many games interfered with last season. And 10 was the number of games that he missed last season, correct?
It was only a few. Oh, great. Okay.
Oh, okay. So we're upping it.
Possibly, maybe. I mean, it could. Blaha could go the distance. I don't know.
That might be the most impressive performance by anybody this season. I am going to do the under.
Okay. So what would you think it is?
I am. That's a pretty good. I'll tell you what. That's a pretty good line. Initially,
my
first thought is.
Sorry. Oh no. The 10 is question 10. So my line is 2.5.
Oh damn it.
Sorry.
Okay. I was shocked. I was like, I can't believe you missed that many games.
Yeah.
All right. 2.5. I'm definitely going the over on that one.
Okay.
Just first reaction. I'm definitely doing the over.
Okay. All right. And next question. So this will be question 11. Number of Pistons in the NBA Rising Stars game. As far as I know, the All-Star game is happening, so it'll be the full All-Star weekend. And we've got a lot of first and second year players.
Hold up.
Yeah.
Hold up. I think the All-Star game isn't happening. I know they're doing the break, but I thought they weren't doing the All-Star game.
Okay. I could be totally uninformed.
I could be mistaken. I just thought that was they were giving the players the normal break, but they didn't want. I think just because they figured it was pointless if we're still doing the no fans in the arena and and trying not to get people to file on the same.
So if it's happening, let's just go with this. And if I'm totally off base, I'll get rid. I was really happy with this graphic.
Understood. Hypothetically,
Hypothetically, if there is a Rising Stars game, how many Pistons will be playing it?
Even in the best case scenario, Sekou Doumbouya is probably going to get his minutes limited off the bench because of Blake and Jeremy Grant. Isaiah Stewart, again, he really doesn't have a path to big minutes right now. So you're really counting on Saddiq Bey and Killian Hayes. So I think the over-under for if I had to set the line, I'd set it at 1.5 because I think Killian Hayes is going to get enough minutes. I'd feel comfortable with the under. Because I think Killian Hayes is going to get enough minutes where he's a good bet. But I also think Saddiq Bey has enough ability to play right now and surprise some people, and I think he does have a path to more minutes. So I think best case scenario, you hope for 2.
Okay.
But if you want to meet in the middle, I would be confident in doing 1. So yes, at 2.5, I would definitely take the under.
Okay.
Okay, since we weren't sure if the All-Star game is going to happen, and I still not, I didn't get Keith's input on this one, but we're going to keep it as a category. Hopefully there will be a game, and hopefully we'll have a player, but how many players? Set the line at 0.5, so that's either something or nothing.
There we go.
All right. Okay. Are you aware, did it happen at all last season? Like, did Andre snag one before he got traded?
He might have won one. It definitely wasn't one.
See, this is almost just completely random because the roster itself is going to be completely random. I mean, it's just a hodgepodge of players, and two of the main guys we don't know if they're going to be on the team from week to week because, who knows if they'll get a Rose or a Blake trade. So I'm going to say Blake has a good shot of getting at least one because I think he's healthy and I think he's a little bit motivated to maybe move on to a better situation. Not that he doesn't like Detroit. I'm not saying that, but I think he might be eager to prove to people that he's the old Blake. So I am going to go. It's either going to be one or two with me. I would feel iffy about two. I'd like one.
Yeah. So I said it as basically one wins the over on this one.
Yeah. So I would not feel. This may be my least confident over of this entire thing, but I would still pick the over.
Okay. All right.
Because tomorrow Blake Griffin could get traded, and then I'm probably throwing that one away.
All right. We've got another guest here to chime in and give their opinions on the over/under, and we've got Eli Bashi, the man of Canby fame, and other great things on the Pistons message board, and he's got a great outside shot if you've watched any of his videos. We haven't seen his post-up game, but the outside shot is there.
Used to be better, but I can work it back in.
All right. Okay, so we are going to have you pick a number between 1 and 25, and then we'll see what questions you get, and it'll take a little moment from your number picking to when I share the screen and give you a question. So we'll probably edit that part out. So just give us a number between 1 and 25, please.
I like 17.
17. That's funny. This is a contingency because if somebody else picked that number, I'd have you pick a different number. So sorry. Nick already picked 17.
I knew it.
We could actually it might be interesting to see what you think about the same thing, and then we'll move on to some other ones. Is that good?
Yeah, that's good.
All right. Winning streak.
Ugh.
Now I'll just let you know because last year I had I think 4.5 was the line then, and they did not do it. The new year. What are your thoughts?
They couldn't do 4.5 last year, and they're not going to do 4.5 this year.
All right.
I'll give them 3. Though they might be able to win 3 in a row if they're lucky. That's their peak.
All right. And I was a little more generous with the line, I guess. So you'd be betting the under there. I thought maybe, it's possible they could squeak out 4 in a row. But yeah, I thought that was a fair line. Let's see. Do you want to do one more?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Drum roll. The drama build. Okay. Longest losing streak.
Oh, man. Oh, this one. No, this one's juicy.
Yeah.
This one is good. Oh, see, we could go a lot of different places for this one. Could play it safe, go like 7, but I'm feeling kind of frisky. I'm feeling like, man, I'm gonna go like, oh man, 10. I'll go 10.
10. Whew. Okay,
10.
so you are betting the over there, and I can't say I blame you, but hopefully we're both wrong. But yeah, so I put it at 6.5. I think they did have a streak around 7 losses last year, something like that.
Yeah, they were 1 and 9
more
in their last 9, or in their last 10.
Yeah, they were on a roll there. Yeah, I forgot about the post-trade deadline fire sale and
the tank.
Yeah, they could have done more. They could have done so much more losing. But they didn't get the opportunity. Well, all right. want to thank you for coming on. And actually, do you want to? I know I didn't ask the question, but it's on there. What's your feeling for total wins on the year?
I've done my season predictions for every team, and I had the Pistons at 23 wins this year.
Okay.
I think their peak is probably 30 if they have Blake until like the trade deadline. And then if they have Blake the whole year, probably still around that 30. But I don't see them being like a fringe playoff team like some people have said. I think they're due for like a tank year. They're gonna try to get a top 3 pick, and as they should, you know, a nice change of pace from the usual 8th seed.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you much. I hope you get in on the contest again this year, and thanks for coming on. And good luck with remote school and everything like that. All right. Have a good holiday.
You too.
All right.
And we have Mr. November here with our next question. He was certainly busy in November, trading, signing, waving, stretching, doing everything that you can do with a player, as far as I can tell, even drafting in November. Yeah. So now that the season's about to start, is he going to be as busy then? Is he going to be busy to the tune of 2 players traded or less? You tell me.
So joining us, or me now, is somebody very familiar to Pistons Twitter, Nicholas Henkle. And I'm happy to have you here, and welcome. And
thank you very much, man. I am like genuinely excited to kind of hop into this. So thank you for including me.
No problem. So what I'm going to have you do is, and I will get to screen sharing soon, which takes a second, but can you give me a number between 1 and 25?
So when you gave me a little bit of prep for this, for some reason, the first number that came to mind was 17. I am not going to deviate. I really like 17. I'm going to roll with 17.
That's a great number, and it's not. I've had one other guess so far, and they did not guess that number. So
okay, good.
We won't be repeating ourselves. So we're going into. Oh, am I sharing screen? Can you see anything right now?
I can just see you.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a beautiful thing. Let me get that set up then. There we go. Games where Josh Jackson outscores his number. And as you can see on the slide, it's number 20.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I'll tell you, last year in his shortened time in the NBA, he had 1 game of 20 points and nothing more than that. So what are your thoughts?
So what are we putting the over under at on that?
Well, I'm getting your initial thoughts, and then I'll show you where
Gotcha. Well, with Jackson, I just, he's a really fun reclamation project for Detroit. I wonder how many games there will even be that he'll have an opportunity to score that many points. Where with Memphis last year, they were kind of just figuring things out for the first majority of the season. And then as kind of the ball started rolling with them, they realized like, oh wait, like Anthony Melton and like Dylan Brooks and like all these guys like are actually good. Okay, we need to make sure these guys are scoring. And then Josh Jackson, he also spent a ton of time in the G League for them last year. And so I don't know, you've kind of seen it so far in the preseason. As of this recording, we've only seen 2 games.
Right. Small sample size.
Right. But the chaos with which he plays is it's incomparable. Like it's funny. I just really like the chaos that he has with his body. I don't know if he'll do it even once. Honest to God, I don't know if he'll do it even once.
All right. So you'd probably be looking at a low number. Well, all right, maybe that's a 0. So
yes,
I put it at 2.5. So you'd be betting the under, and my thought is, at least with the small sample size that we've seen, there could be some starting positions up for, available.
Sure.
Some tinkering of the lineups last year, somewhat due to injury, but somewhat due to just trying to figure things out. Casey shuffled the lineup a lot. So I could see a possibility that he gets some starts, but we'll see. So I might bet the under actually, but I thought that was a fair line. So
yeah, it's I'm gonna hammer the under there, but I don't want that to make it seem like I think it's a bad question, because I genuinely do think it's interesting. I just think even if, with all the lineup roulette that Casey plays, and then, the ambiguity at shooting guard with like DeLon Wright and Josh Jackson and like Svi and however many other combos we have. Again, I just wonder about the opportunity. And even if God willing, there's a game where Josh Jackson has the volume to get up to 20 shots or 20 points, I don't think he'll meet the efficiency to actually do it, if that makes sense, right? Like if he takes 10 shots, right, that's potential for 20 points. I don't think that he's gonna, what I mean? I don't know. I just don't think he'll get there even once.
All right. Okay. Good answer. And now we'll just scroll to the next question. Okay, another one with the lineup roulette. Starts for Jahlil Okafor. Is it ever going to happen?
Man, yeah, I think it will. I don't know though. Will it? Like, one of the things that I've said a few times, I've even written about it over at Piston Powered, is you can hate what Troy Weaver did if you want, and it's fine. But one of the things that he actually did with a lot of our acquisitions is we finally constructed a healthy team, right? Like, we're not going into this year, like, sure, Blake could get hurt, Derrick Rose could get hurt, but, all these guys that we drafted, all these guys that we brought in, they're healthy guys. And it's subject to change. Like, it's a crazy world. It's the NBA. But the reason I'm saying this is because if this was last year, I'm looking at this question and I'm thinking, no matter what it is, I'm probably going to take the over because of how unpredictable things can be. Okafor could have to get thrown out there at any minute. This year, though, I would say maybe he starts like 7 to 10, and that's in like a weird scenario where something happens to Plumlee. And then I don't know, because it was Jahlil Okafor that the other day was like, yeah, I really like Isaiah Stewart. Like, one of these days he's gonna like be ahead of me. It was something to that effect. So I'm excited to see I'm excited to see the number here, man, because I really don't know.
Okay, well, here is the number I set it at. Get my scroll on. Boom, 9.5. So it's kind of. I'm trying to make these tough, so it could happen. We got the small sample size. They've committed to Plum, but he hasn't exactly wowed anyone yet. So I could see, and I think at least what I've seen in the first two games, the starting lineup seems a little starved for offense. Mm-hmm. So I could see him getting in there, but and there's injuries. He could start at power forward. You never know. So I thought 9.5 was a fair one.
Yeah. You just brought it up. I was kind of thinking the same. Like, is there a world where they start Jahlil at the 4? I don't know that it exists, unless we are horrendously desperate, right? But I think that, who knows, right?
Yeah.
I gotta be honest, I'm kind of mad at you because 9.5 is like,
That's the point.
Because what did I say? 7 to 10? And you're like, if you had said 8.5, I would have ended the call. I would have been like, I'm not doing this. Then you would have been right in the sweet spot. But because we play what? We're playing 70 games this year. They're just cutting 10 or 12 off.
72, something like that.
70. Yeah, I never remember which one. I just know it's 70 or 72. So if this was a normal, traditional 82 game season, I would maybe say over more confidently. I just think it's going to be under because I think the commitment that we have to Plumlee, even if he's playing kind of meh, I think Casey's going to keep him out there, mainly for his rim protection, which is, I guess, marginally better than it is for Okafor. Here's the problem with this question. If I say over, I don't believe it. If I say under, I also do not believe it. I don't know, but for the sake of the conversation, I'm going to say under.
Yeah, and what the good thing with the contest is you still have a few more preseason games to get some information.
Right.
So, and do you want to go for a third one, or are you good with two guesses, two categories?
I would do every single one of these. This is super fun. You can give me however many more that you want.
All right. Well, maybe we'll revisit this once I get all the categories done. But let's go for one more.
Okay.
All right. So, games where Blaha calls the Pistons organization raggedy ass. This is an interesting question, and here is the line. Is he going to call the Pistons organization raggedy ass more than 2 times? Or less?
So we'll go to question 20. So let's pretend this never happened.
Okay.
Maybe. Okay. So this is I don't even remember what I put as the over, but Pistons points per game.
Man. Well, here's the thing that we've seen through 2 preseason games. We have done a pretty good job generating open looks on offense. Those haven't been too difficult to come by. The ball movement, has for the most part been pretty decent. Spacing has had some issues at times, most notably when Jeremy Grant just decided all of the sudden that he was the only guy on the floor and was just gonna shoot on 5 consecutive possessions. So this is points per game as a team, correct?
As a team.
Okay.
And just the regular season.
Right.
Per se, if there's playoffs.
Right. I it's kind of the same question with the over under on Killian's assists, which we did not talk about, but it's still I think it's at the Vegas one is at 3.5, right? You'd really like to say over, but then you have games like you did against the Knicks the other night where it's he set up probably 4 or 5 different guys for open shots and they just missed. That's it. So I just wonder if Detroit's going to have the efficiency to score more than 95 points a game. I think it's gonna, you know what I mean? I think our first one against the Knicks, I scored 80, but we hadn't played in 9 months and it's whatever. There's a lot that goes into it. This team's gonna be really bad for a while, especially because they're so new together. So they're not gonna score that many points. So I would probably put it around 95, but I'm curious to see what you have it at.
Yeah. It's much higher. Well, the line is much higher because I looked at last year. They scored 107.2 per game. So maybe this is an easy question for people, which not the worst thing.
Yeah.
But I put it at 105.55. So I saw a reduction. I think there's going to be some tinkering, and just the way the NBA is, they could be giving up 120 every game and get that 105. It all depends what their pace of play and like you were saying, hitting those open looks. So maybe this is a generous line on this one, but
yeah, I mean, you have Derrick Rose, you have Blake Griffin on a nightly basis. That's that's worth at least almost upwards of 40 points. Right. So I just wonder, where does the other 50 or 60 come from? You know what I mean? I'm not being funny. I'm that serious. This is a real thing that I think about. You're going to have nights where, player X is going to kind of go off like how Sekou did the other night when he had 23. But there are going to be times when nothing falls, and that's
right.
That's it. It doesn't matter if they're open looks. Like they just don't make shots. So I think, am I being a little bit harsh with my prediction of like 95? Yeah, they're grown men and like playing in the NBA. They're going to score more than 95 points a game. 105.5 under though, for sure. I think that's under. I think that's probably the easiest one for me.
Well, I think I got another guy coming in at 115. Another special guest. But I really want to thank you for doing this, and maybe, I don't know, we can talk about running through this all together and get your opinions once I get the whole contest put together.
Absolutely.
Or, all right. Cool.
All right, man, well, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. This was fun.
Thanks for coming on. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Nice to
Take care, man.
Kind of meet you.
Yeah, actually, yes. Also that, yeah. Take care, man.
All right. Points per game that we give up.
All right. Do you have offhand the amount they gave up last season?
They gave up a little, I think a little over, I want to say like 111. Something like that. It might have been 110.
Okay, so you're right. They gave up just a shade under 111, which was, mediocre. Mm-hmm. But their expected pace, they were one of the slowest teams in the league. So if you buy into the faster pace, they could actually have a better defense and give up more points.
Mm-hmm.
So if we were setting the line at last season, I would go with the over, even in an optimistic point of view, because I think they could definitely have I think everyone agrees they should have a better defense all around. But I also think they're going to have a few more turnovers, a lot of rookies. I think they're going to play at a faster pace. So I'm hitting the over pretty hard on this one.
Okay. And we're rolling on here. We have Lazarus Jackson here, one of our celebrity guests, celebrity pickers, who's going to share some insights on a couple of categories. And so we are going to have you pick a number between 1 and 28.
Okay. Let's go 3.
The last person I just had on just 3. All right, so that's what makes it fun. We've had 2 people guess 17. We've had 2 people guess 3. We've had 1 guess 7. So let's try to jump away from those numbers.
Okay, let's go 18.
18. Okay.
Yeah, no one guesses 18.
Actually, well, let's do it. Sorry. I'm not even going to let you guess 18. How about let's say you said 22.
Sure. 22 is also
okay.
22 is also good.
Sorry, I've guessed 3 after, so we've gone 17, 18, 19.
Okay.
This is working beautifully so far. I am a professional. Okay, so what is that? 22? Oh, great.
22. Yeah, 22.
All right.
Yeah, lucky old Avery Bradley's number. Let's go.
Oh, I like this one. Here we go. That's what okay. Yes. Times a former Piston makes the game-winning shot or free throw versus us, what I like to call the Dinwiddie.
This is a tricky one, simply because now there are a lot more former Pistons than there used to be.
This is true.
Opportunities abound. Let's see. So we've got, who are the real threats here? The real threats are kind of like Andre Drummond, Luke Kennard, Spencer Dinwiddie, Chris. I would say Chris Middleton, but the Bucks are going to beat us by a lot, so there's no need for there to be a game-winning shot. Yeah. Actually, I think that when you think about how poorly the team is going to play and how few close games they're going to be in, you think about another team that's kind of close to them in the standings. I think Andre Drummond is actually a pretty good answer. It feels like a couple of Andre Drummond offensive rebound tip opportunities to seal a loss against Cleveland could definitely be in the future.
And it's not necessarily a who though. It's how many times it happens. But I like getting a who as well.
Yeah. So that would have to happen at least once.
Right.
There's no way he pulled it off twice. I would hope. And so we got one. We got a solid one in Dre. Again, Luke's too good, or the Clippers are too good for there to be a close game between us. Bruce Brown, not so much. Tony Snell, maybe we get a Tony Snell buzzer beater against the Hawks.
That would be. There's at least one person that would be
very excited about that. That's very true. Yep. Who else? That's like in a rotation. Okay, so I'm gonna go two. We'll go Andre Drummond and a mystery person.
All right, so you're going over.
I'm going over.
And it's gonna happen, and it's gonna be a no doubt thing.
Yes,
it's gonna happen more than once.
Of course,
the way that more than once.
Yeah, the way that this season is structured to go, there are definitely going to be multiple opportunities for heartbreak for Pistons fans.
Awesome. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I know, right?
All right. Next question. Ooh, are we going to have any joy this year? Game winners made 5 seconds or less to go in the game for us. Or Derrick Rose gets to swear to Johnny Kane again. Maybe.
Yeah, and he will definitely be on the floor if there is a chance for a late game winning opportunity. Is it copping out to say 2 as well? I don't feel like
no.
Yeah.
If that's the number that's calling to you, I've already changed your numbers enough in this conversation. So if you're picking 2, you get the 2. So you're going with the over just by
I'm going.
Skosh.
Yeah, I feel pretty good about more than 1. So I feel pretty good about the over here.
All right. I like that. So speaking of going over 2, do you want a third question?
Sure. Let's do it.
All right. Oh, okay. So total wins against the teams that made the conference finals in the bubble. Are we going to beat any of them?
This is a tough one because with the compressed schedule, you can easily see at least one of these teams just not really desiring to play every night. I'm thinking of the Lakers in particular. I don't think we play the Lakers. No, we play the Lakers in the first half of the season. We don't play the Clippers in the first half of the season.
Okay.
I remember seeing the schedule and thinking that was weird. And with the state of the team, you can definitely imagine guys like Anthony Davis and LeBron James and Nikola Jokic and Jason Tatum feeling obliged to take the night off against the Pistons. So between those 4 teams,
there could be a revenge factor for Grant and Plum.
And Plumlee, that's an excellent point. You want to show them what they're missing out on, all 60 million of it. Okay, so I feel like it's 4 teams. They play each of them probably at least twice. Play 2 of them 3 times. So that's 10 games. They played 10 games against the top 10 teams in the league. I feel like a good over/under would be 2.5, and I want to be positive. I want to be optimistic about this team, so I'm going to say 3, and I'm going to go over. Or I'm going to say 3. I don't know if that's over or not. All right.
You got rid of the 2. You went beyond the 2.
I did go beyond the 2.
All you needed was 2 though to get the over.
Yeah. Maybe there's one particularly great night in Miami or something, and when we hit that 3
on the court. On the
court. Clubs are closed. You can't have a great night in Miami off the court anymore.
All right. Good to know. Well, I'm not going to push my luck anymore with my technology or asking questions. So I want to thank you, and I also I got a couple more people coming. So thank you again for lending your wisdom and your insights and your love for the number 2. And that is it. moving on. Hopefully, I hope you're doing the contest this year. Get you in there.
Thanks for having me on as a celebrity picker. I appreciate it.
Yeah. All
right. Games where T-shirt Tom Gores throws objects out into an empty pizzerina. A pizzerina, I'm sorry. So, yeah. Is he going to be in the building? And if he is in the building, is he going to be just propelled to jettison some article of something to somebody that's not there? It's a good question.
So we've got another guest on. We've got Kingi. Am I pronouncing that right?
Hey, yep, you are pronouncing it right.
That was important. And
the first attempt.
I'm gonna dive into a couple more questions here in the big over/under contest. And okay, so we got highest point total for an individual for a Pistons opponent.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
What do you think somebody is going to go off on us for this season? You don't have to name who, but if you want to, that's a bonus.
I'm definitely thinking over 40. Like, there's going to at least be a couple players that are going to drop over 40 on the Pistons. Right. Highest point total, I'm just going to go with 42.
42. Okay.
There's going to be one big game where there's like a crazy blowout or somebody just goes off.
Well, I went with
was that
the over-under 46.5. So,
okay. Oh, damn.
Yeah. I thought it's going to be even uglier.
Is that going to be Giannis?
It could be. He's going to play us a lot. So
right.
And I still don't think we have anybody that's really.
Could it be T.J. Warren?
It could. It could be a lot of guys. Everybody's going to get their chance.
I know T.J. Warren wants revenge.
Yeah. So we got. You're going with the under, but you're still going for a big total.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep.
So we're going to go to the next one. All right. He's in the country now. He's even in the state of Michigan. Is he going to play, and how much is he going to play? What do you think? How many minutes he gets played? And it's only for the Pistons, not the G League.
So on the Pistons right now, I think there's a tough competition in the rotation. So I don't really know where Servetus fits in. Total minutes he plays this season, I'm gonna go less than 40.
Okay, all right. You're going out with you. You did say before we were recording, are you going to hit the under on a lot of these? So so far, you're true to your word.
That seems more reasonable.
Well, I really, this one is, I don't even have any feel for it, but I just went for,
right.
100 seemed like a good number. If he gets 100, he gets the over, but
I don't
know. I mean, I figured they're bringing him over.
Some of those videos from Nets
probably
fans
going to want
that we like talking about how he sucks.
What were you saying?
I haven't seen anything on Servetus except some of those videos from Nets fans that were just talking about all of his lowlights and how bad he was. So that's pretty much all I know about Servetus.
Yeah.
Is this the guy from the Nets?
No, that's the other guy. I don't even. He hasn't played yet. I've forgotten his name.
Is Servetus the guy that they stashed in Europe for a while?
Yeah. He's the guy they drafted.
I haven't seen too much on him.
Yeah. Well, he just. I don't think he did that well overseas last year, but
right.
We'll see. I figured that since they're bringing him over, they may want to see him play, and
right.
But they could just stash him in Grand Rapids. Who knows?
Definitely.
Do you want to do one more?
All right, let's keep it going.
Okay. Our guy, Sadiq Bey, the 3 and D guy.
What did he shoot in college? Do you know?
I don't have that offhand. I think it was above 40.
Above 40?
It wasn't like KCP in college.
Right.
He was supposed to be a 3 and D guy, but he hit like 33% of his threes in college.
Right. Ooh, that is a good question. I'm gonna guess that he's shooting over 40%. That's gonna be my guess in the league.
All right, you went with the over this time. I mean, you would be betting, but I was close, kind of right up against it. High 30s, which is above league average. So
that seems reasonable.
See. Yeah, I try to be reasonable.
Definitely.
All right. Well, thank you.
Where did he play in college?
We're going on with the contest. What?
Where did he play in college again? I can't even remember.
Villanova.
Sadiq Bey? Yeah, Villanova. Yeah, they got some good shooters at Villanova. So I mean, I'm with him though. I hope that he shoots better than 40%.
I do too. All right. I want to thank you for coming on.
Yes, no problem, JG. Anytime,
lending
man.
insight.
Yeah, anytime, man. Anytime. Pistons for life. I'm always down positive, JD.
All right, man.
All right, now I'm going to be rolling the final categories myself. Had a few scheduling errors or whatever today, and unfortunately had a couple of guests booked, but it's just going to be me the rest of the way. So Isaiah Stewart, 10 or more rebound games. Is he going to get the minutes? I think if he gets the minutes, he's going to be mixing it up with people and may have some big rebounding games. But the question is he going to see the floor? And speaking of seeing the floor, we've got Musa, straight from the Brooklyn Nets. We gave up Bruce Brown to get this talent, and he hasn't shown anything yet. He hasn't played in either of the preseason games, and Saban Lee has played towards the end of a couple of games. And the question is, what's going to happen in the regular season? They're going to see some floor? Anything? We'll see. And Rookie of the Year points won, and that there are points assigned to votes for Killian. So the line is set at 140.5, which is right just above where the amount of points that Zion Williamson got last year, to give you kind of a measuring stick of the line. And then games where both Blake and D. Rose score 25 or more in a game together at the same time in the same NBA game this season. Is it going to happen? And is it going to happen more than 2.5 times? And next up, on the flip side, sorry to DeLon Wright and his family, but this is the category I got for you right now. It's been a very quiet preseason so far for Mr. Wright. He's been on the floor, but not much. And is that going to be the same case in more than 7 games or fewer than 7 games? So you're going to be just kind of out there, setting screens or taking charges, making steals, passing to the next guy, maybe getting some screen assists, which they love in Utah. But the points, that's what this question's about. And I've talked enough about it. Average of blocks and rebounds per game for Jeremy Grant. Now, early in his career, he was a better rebounder than he's been the last couple years. So now that he's in a starting role and featured in Detroit, is he going to be more productive? And is he going to beat that number? Hopefully. But you get to pick which side he's on. And yes, I want to include a category for every player on the team, and I'd forgotten about these guys. Sorry. So I coupled them together. There wasn't even color photos of them. So, they're an afterthought for a couple other people too, I guess. Anyway, most combined threes for the two of them in a game. 6.5. What do you think? And finally, the Pistons ping pong percentage to win the 2021 lottery. Some of you out there may say, "Hey, what do you mean? They're going to be in the playoffs? Their percentage is 0." And the rest of us will figure out, is their percentage to get the top pick higher than 10.55 or lower? They're going to be, I think that 10.55 is assigned to the 4th worst team. So that's another way of putting it. But since it's over-under, I had to give this kind of number. And so that's the 36 categories. But wait, we got a bonus question. And it's worth 20 points. So, you know, could be the difference between you watching the Pistons on TV or watching them several hundred feet away in the top part of the Pizza Arena. How many wins are they going to get in their city jerseys? And it's been kind of a favorable, should I say, maybe, reaction to these jerseys. Yeah, they're not teal. Sorry to the young folk that like the teal. Those that weren't around in the 90s to see them the first time around, I think. Sorry, editorial comment. Anyway, they're going to play several games in these jerseys. Are they going to win several games in these jerseys? That's the bonus question, and that is my time here. So you've got all the information you need as far as what the questions are, what the lines are, and now is the time for you to put your credibility, your insights, your Pistons knowledge to the test and see if you can win the 9th annual Tin Mad Dogs Pistons over and under contest. Thank you and good luck.